Ooh. Welcome in. This is the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close, and I am the Crypto Bull God. I hope everybody's been having a nice weekend. This weekend for me flew by really quick. Similar to last week, I am having a non-alcoholic hop water, a flavored hop water. Maybe they'll become a sponsor of the channel someday. No, I hope everybody had a nice weekend. Markets are looking pretty shitty, so we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. But for me, the weekend flew by. I don't know if I mentioned earlier in the week, but I was craving sushi, so actually tried out a place. I felt kind of bad because I stopped by hey, I see 6 people here. Thank you very much. If you haven't hit the little thumbs up button, would appreciate it. Drop a comment. I see there's some comments I'm going to get to in a little bit here. Wow, 9 people. So for everybody new joining, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel for notifications. As I was saying, I kind of felt bad because, I've been down in South Florida now for 10 years, and specifically where I'm located, kind of in the general vicinity. I've been here for several years, and I just checked out a random sushi place. I was driving back from, I was at a gun range. Fired off. I've never gone shooting before, so that was a lot of fun. I had a friend who invited me out, and I finally had an opportunity, so that was some fun. I've never done that before. I'm definitely looking forward to doing it again. But on the way back, I just hit up a random sushi place, and I just said to the guy, struck up conversation. I said, "Hey, how long have you guys been here?" "Oh, we've been here for 10 years." I've been here for 10 years. And I was like, oh, well, I will definitely check you out again. I appreciate the service and everything. And the sushi was phenomenal. So I'm definitely going to go back there. But I felt bad that I had never heard of this location before. So let me see who we got here. So thank you, Astasi, Mr. Johnson, John. Brendan's always here. And Ray. Ray, you're new. I haven't seen you. So thank you. Welcome in. John, good to see you on the live stream. I know you weren't able to join the past few live streams. Really good to see you. We're going to get into the Bitcoin dominance chart. We're going to get into several charts, several key charts. The markets are going to be closing here in 3 minutes. I will say this. Let's just get right into the charts, all right? That's why everybody's here. I will say based on the current price action that we're seeing on how things are closing out, this is not setting up for a good day tomorrow. Not setting up for a good day tomorrow, in my opinion. We'll have to see. The market is very unpredictable. And to those who are humble and wise, we remain patient and allow the charts to kind of dictate the narrative to us. If you haven't been humbled by the market, you will at some point in your life. So we don't know how the markets are going to open tomorrow. Things could turn out to be an extremely green day tomorrow. But I will say this, just exercising some intuition and common sense based on how the week is closing out here, not good. Not good in the short term. And I would expect that the odds, based on how we're closing out here, the odds are in the favor of a red day on Monday. So we'll have to watch for that. But let's start off with by the way, real quick, before we actually start getting into the weekly, I keep jumping around here. For those that tuned into the happy hour on Thursday, I did indicate that I was going to put a video out on Friday, which I did not have an opportunity to get to. It's going to be a pretty short video, but it's to help everybody to gain a perspective on the market and to not get so caught up in if the exact dollar amount bottom has been reached in the market, but to keep a more macro perspective view and to ask the question if this truly is a generational buying opportunity or it's not. So I am going to get that video out this week. Just didn't have a chance on Friday. I've had a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Nothing bad, just a lot of stuff. And the weekend has just flown by. So, all right, let's get into the charts here. Sebastian, welcome in. Welcome everybody who's in. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for notifications and hit the thumbs up button. By the way, once we get through all the charts that I personally want to go through, which we're going to start now, we're about to close in a minute here. I always do a TA Q&A, right? So just a live, free-flowing discussion on any charts that you want me to take a look at. If there aren't any questions, some weeks there are questions, some weeks there aren't. I'll just pull up a few random charts and kind of talk to some that I was charting earlier this morning. With that being said, let's get into it. Bitcoin's about to close around 19,500. This is just a weekly chart, kind of talked about this pink moving average, the 200 SMA that everyone's focused on, right? Generally been an area of support that you can always count on from past cycles, right? Now, one of the things we have to understand and appreciate about Bitcoin, let's just talk about Bitcoin, is it's very immature as an asset. It has not been around for a long time. So, 12 years of price data, for instance, is really not a lot of information to base conclusions on, right? It's different if you're looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average or S&P and you have decades worth of data to base your conclusions on. In this case, we are rather hamstrung based upon the fact that there's only 12 years of price data. But being that as it may, we do have 12 years of price data. And in the past, this 200 SMA has acted as an area of support. Any basic premise in charting, if you've been here, you follow other channels and solid content creators, one of the things that they or I know have hammered home on is once we are above a moving average, it acts as support and we move up, right? If we break down below a moving average, like in this case, now we temporarily peaked above it, but now we've expressed a lot of weakness and we've gone below. This moving average, it's going to act as a hammer and it's just going to want to hit price down. We need to see volume come in and we need to see candle body closes get above this 200 SMA. This is not bullish one bit. We do not want to see prices hanging out down here. If prices continue to hang out below the 200 SMA on the 200 weekly moving average, it doesn't change the narrative that this is an incredible buying opportunity, but it does change the narrative in terms of it becoming more probable that we could retest these lows and create a new low, okay, and the bottom is not in. And it also, the more we hang out down here, the more this is just going to be long and drawn out and sideways chop, and it's going to take longer until we can begin to truly create higher highs and higher lows to create new all-time highs towards our path of creating new all-time highs in Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. Definitely bearish. It was not good to see this break down the other week, and this week's, this is a very bearish candle, not good to see. We really need to see buyers kick in here. We need to see a green candle here. We need to get back up into this $23,000 area, okay? We do not want to hang out down here. This is not good, all right? So in the short term, weekly close, bearish, not good to see. Let's look at any price indicators real quick. I just have the RSI here. We're at historical lows. In fact, we created new all-time lows on the RSI. Let's quickly pull up a stochastic RSI. I should have had that pulled up to start with. Let's kind of see where we're at. So the other thing, that's right, I wanted to point this out. I was going to point it out on the next chart. There is no one indicator or no price pattern or no piece of information that's going to tell you with 100% conviction of anything. Again, just as a reminder, all we can do is use multiple data points to make inferences about what we're seeing now and into the future, right? So take what I'm saying and apply that to what I'm about to say, okay? This is not good. We're having a bearish cross on the stochastic RSI. Okay, now when we got a negative cross here, when the blue line crossed below the orange, look what happened here. We had a move down. A bearish cross here, a move down. Now it doesn't happen all the time, as you'll see. See, we got a bearish cross and a little bit of a move down there. Now, like I said, it's not 100% indicative of price. Look what happened here. We got a bearish cross. We went sideways, and we actually continued up. We got another bearish cross right here, but we moved up. So it's not telling you with 100% certainty on the stochastic RSI that we're going to see continued movement down in the price. That's not what it's saying. What it is it's a caution flag. It's a red flag, and you really want to exercise a degree of caution here, recognizing that we could see potential continued movement to the downside. This stochastic RSI is not looking favorable at the moment. The Heikin Ashi candles. Now, if you've been here for a little bit, I've been covering this candle. You can follow me. By the way, if you're not following me, you can follow me on Twitter at Crypto Bull Guide. This is something I've covered on Twitter. This is something I've covered on this channel. These, you can go up here, you can change the candlestick formations from a regular candle. See how we have regular candles here? You can go in TradingView and change them to Heikin Ashi. The only distinction between this chart and the other chart, really at the end of the day, to keep this in layman's terms, the color of the candlestick indicates the momentum that price is moving, okay? Red is bad, green is good. Or if you're shorting, I guess red is good, but I don't short. So green is bullish and red is bearish, right? So what this is indicating to us now that we've turned red with these three candlesticks here is we're starting to get some momentum to the downside, which is not what we want to see. What I was pointing out, a historical fact based on the limited price data we have, when we started turning green here around the 200 SMA, I indicated the last few times that's happened, it really has indicated a trend reversal. You can see back here in 18, let me zoom in here. You can't really see this. Back in 2018 and 19, we had temporarily turned green once we bounced off the 200 SMA, sort of went red there for a few weeks and then went green again. So really what we want to see from a trend reversal perspective here to move to the upside. Thank you for everyone new tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. What we really want to see is we want to begin to see these green candlesticks form back on the chart here because, you know, the more this continues to play out and the more these red candlesticks begin to print, the more convicted we can feel that there's sustained pressure on the price to move down. Again, before we move off of Bitcoin here, I want everyone to understand the perspective. I often speak to this on Twitter and I speak to this on my YouTube channel. I want you to understand the perspective to which I'm coming at this from, okay? And if I haven't been clear about this before, I'm going to release a video this week that speaks to this. I personally view this buying opportunity right here, whether you buy at 23, 21, or 19, I view it as an epic generational buying opportunity if you're an investor. I'm not speaking to the day trader. This channel has never been speaking to a day trader. I do not day trade, okay? 97% or more of day traders fail. If you think you can quit your full-time job and become a successful day trader, look, I have big aspirations. I'm very ambitious. I work very hard in my life, but I also am humble enough and I feel like exercise enough common sense in my life to take calculated risks. More than likely, just to be a realist about it, you're not going to succeed as a day trader as your full-time job. If you wanted a supplemental income and got to do a little bit of swing trading, hey, I'm all for that. But if you really think you can quit your daytime job and your day job and day trade crypto as a living, you're going to get your ass handed to you more than likely. I'm not speaking to the day trader, okay? I'm speaking to the investor saying that this, whatever, even if I'm wrong, okay, and the bottom is not in and we bottom at 16 or 15,000, this area here is an epic buying opportunity for the investor. What I am trying to tell you, since every chart that we focus on the Bitcoin Crypto Weekly Close live stream is a weekly view, I'm simply speaking to the shorter term price action on the weekly chart. This is bearish, okay? We don't like to see what's going on right now and being below the 200 SMA. We don't like to see red Heikin Ashi candles printing, especially under the 200 SMA, okay? This is all bearish in the short term. Does not change my long-term investment thesis, okay? Not one freaking bit. In fact, at these price levels, personally, with whatever fiat is at my disposal, which I would feel comfortable with investing, I personally would be DCAing in here. And the lower we go, I would be more aggressive with that. Again, never financial advice, but that's my perspective based on looking at all the charts and data science models that I've personally evaluated, okay? This is Ethereum on the weekly. Now, one of the things I talked about on the last live stream, okay, was when we were down in this area, okay, I've been doing these weekly live streams now for a little bit. Thank you for everyone new tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. When we were down here, okay, I had this pivotal, I tweeted these out, but I had some pivotal areas of support right around 800 and 970. Let's just call it and use round figures, okay? Once we started bouncing in this region, I said we need to get above here and we need to get above here. Once we get above these two major green areas of support, it's all about this descending area of resistance. Ideally, we would want to break it, maybe back test it as support to create further market structure, and then begin to create higher highs and higher lows before entertaining creating new all-time highs. Okay, that's what I spoke to. Now, What has since happened, let's talk about a couple things on this chart that are important to understand, okay? And this is resistance. Anytime you look at a chart with me, red is resistance, green is support, you know if you've been here for a while. So what has happened here, which was very good to see, we got a strong bounce up, okay? And we got all the way above 1,700. 1,700 here was a major area of price confluence, okay, that I've spoken to in the past. We have since broken below. Now, what I've said on the prior live stream is this zone here, right around 1,400, we're going to say 14 to 1,300, okay? We really want to see this hold as support. If we start breaking 14 to 1,300, I don't see why we wouldn't start entertaining areas down here in 1,000, 1,100, okay? So we really want to see 13 to 1,400 hold on Ethereum. Now, the second thing I would say, and this just speaks to the fact that if it doesn't hold, we're going to begin to see deeper corrections in the market. But there's something else I want you to keep in mind because it's not all doom and gloom here, okay? What are we actually seeing at the moment market structure-wise that is being built here? We have a low, we have a high, and we still have a higher low. So as long as we're not taking out, at the end of the day, as long as we're not taking out this low created by this candlestick at 880, which I don't see happening. Anything is possible, just in my opinion, I do not see that happening. As long as we're above 880, we could actually go, we could do something like this. We could come all the way down here to the magical number of around 1,000, 1,100, and then we could continue moving up, okay? We're still creating, look at this, we're still creating a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high, okay? This is why it's important not to get caught up in the day-to-day. This is why it's important that I've stressed so many times to understand the audience to which somebody is tweeting to. There are so many people that not only will tweet things out and put YouTube channel content out there to gain viewership and an audience, right? They have hidden motives. It's not just that, but there's also content creators that their comments are geared towards day trading. Their comments are geared towards, they're people who take leverage and they say they take leverage and they take short-term trades. I've never geared any content towards that. I've indicated if I've taken shorter term swing plays, but the majority of all my content is more of a macro based investment perspective, right? I'm not tweeting anything out talking about day trading things, and if things are moving down 5%, I could give two fucks less if Bitcoin is at 20 or 19,000. It's still a massive buying opportunity. So just keep it in mind. That's what I would keep in mind on this chart. The other thing, I guess, before we move off of this, which was good to see. Again, I kind of spoke to this before. We've started to invalidate some of this negative divergence on the RSI. But we've since, as you can see, which isn't good to see, we broke it. As you can see, we broke above our descending red line of resistance here. Now we've fallen back below. We really want to start getting back up in this area and begin to create higher highs and higher lows. So watch for that on the RSI for Ethereum. Okay. Let's get into our next chart here, which is the relativity chart. Now, before you tell me that this descending line is invalid because it's going through candle bodies, I would agree with you. It is invalid on this chart, but I drew it on a higher time frame. So I drew it on this monthly time frame. So just keep that in mind as we're looking at the chart. Now, what's good to see on the Ethereum BTC chart, and I think I saw something, and I know Credible Crypto has a video out there I haven't watched yet, but I saw him tweet something out today about don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure, but something about ETH BTC essentially dropping and coming down, probably, I'm assuming, I'd have to look at his chart again, but probably touching this area of support here. Now, while I think that's possible, the reason I would say I find that less likely is because if Ethereum's relativity drops off that much, what that's going to do, I would think that would cause a sharp incline in the dominance within Bitcoin, because Ethereum makes up so much of the market cap for the altcoins that it would drive up this dominance. And I guess it's possible so long as we stay within this pattern. I guess it's still possible. But again, one of my huge premises And one of my big observations is this bear flag. I've spoken to this relentlessly. I have multiple YouTube videos out on this. I've tweeted about this. Again, I do not see anyone else talking about this. I spoke to the fact that there's a pattern. It's present. It's a descending triangle, a bear flag, a pennant here. We temporarily invalidate it. Anytime you temporarily invalidate a pattern and re-enter it, there's a high likelihood the original pattern will play out. So I still view this. I mean, this pattern, until proven otherwise, this is just a pattern like any other chart. And this is my general philosophy in terms of what I see occurring within dominance. And I've kind of spelled out in another video what that means for altcoins, okay? So for ETH to drop down, right now, there's still a lot of strength in this chart, and we invalidated, look at the RSI, we invalidated this bearish divergence on the RSI. We broke up above this descending line of resistance. So I guess there's a possibility where dominance could drop off hard and we would still remain within this pattern. But I'm a little bit more doubtful of dominance on Ethereum dropping all the way down here. Right now, we're still holding up very well on Ethereum's dominance of Bitcoin. And between Ethereum holding up so well, the Bitcoin dominance looking like it's set to drop, the dollar, the DXY, nothing too much to share on the Bitcoin dominance, kind of in the same spot that we were last week. I really don't have anything new to share. But also with the DXY here, while we don't know where the top in the dollar is, just keeping these things in mind where there's strength in the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is expressing a lot of weakness and has a bear pennant in its formation. And the dollar has just been on an absolute tear, just on a parabola. Now, between these three things, it spells to me that we are not in the middle of a huge 2-year long correction here, and we're setting up for a massive run in the entire market. And I know that goes counter to what most people are saying out there. It's just, I'm just looking at the charts and a lot of the other data science models that I'm going to share in the video coming up this week. But you look at 15, 20, 25 data points, and if they're all telling you similar or the same thing, I don't know how you can't conclude otherwise. But the thing that I wanted to comment on with the dollar here is the dollar is still expressing a lot of strength. The dollar is still in a parabola, okay? The thing you have to understand about things that are, in this case, if you would look at this chart and say it's definitely overbought, it's definitely overextended. MACD's just moving up. Stochastic RSI's been up in this range forever. The RSI, I mean, it's been in overbought territories at 80. We're kind of hovering around 70, which is expressing a lot of strength. It's not necessarily too hot. Once we get up more towards 75 to 80, I would argue that we're getting a little bit overextended. The RSI would suggest we're at 70 right now. The point is, though, we've been on let's just look at price action, okay? The DXY has been on a straight ride up. It can continue going up. Things that are hot can be overextended for an extended period of time. Things that are oversold can be oversold for an extended period of time. At some point, there's at least a return to the median line, okay? At some point, just looking at this chart, just looking at a major area of price confluence, I mean, this just sticks out to me right here. I'm just going to point out the first one that sticks out to me. This is a major area right here around 97, okay? At some point, nobody knows when, okay? Nobody can tell you when. At some point, this parabola is going to start to shift gears, and we're going to create lower highs and lower lows, and we're going to start to entertain these major areas of price confluence. And once we dip below the prior areas of support that represent price confluence, it's going to act as resistance, and it's going to continue churning down. Parabolas, if you're invested in a parabola, it's a beautiful thing on the way up, but you better know what you're doing, or you can get your ass handed to you, and you better be selling out, because when they fall hard. So just keep an eye on the dollar right now. Just keeping it real with you. Look at this. I'd go like this. This. I'm going to move up here. Move up here. Higher highs and higher lows. That's all I'm seeing right now. So this thing just continues to move up. We're going to have to but hopefully continue. You've been paying attention to the DXY on the weekly. We're just going to have to pay attention to this and see when it starts to begin to break down. When does it break 104? When does it start breaking 100? 100 is a psychological level. When does it start getting down into these low 100 levels? But right now, the DXY is expressing a lot of strength. Where are we sitting right now? We're at 109. Yeah, it's still expressing a lot of strength, so we'll have to see. Total market cap. Okay, so this is on a 3-month. Let's get off of that. But that gives you perspective. I've spoken endlessly about this. Let's look at the weekly on the total cryptocurrency market cap. So we're still holding our trend line. There's a major area of support right here around 770 billion, which represented the prior all-time low. I don't know what just happened there. Sometimes things just come out of my mouth, and I don't know why. It represented our prior all-time high. But again, one of the things I would keep an eye on here, we still have a low, a high, and a higher low at the moment, okay? Now, keep in mind, I've pulled up the stochastic RSI here, and once again, no one indicator is going to tell you what's going to happen, but we do see a negative cross here, which you can see in times past. We had a negative cross here, here, and here. Let's see what happened to price. Moved down a little bit. This was a big, starting here, this was a big move down, and this was a massive move down. But again, we can go back in time, and we can see periods, again, back in 2020, look what happened here. We had a little cross here and nothing happened in price, just went sideways. Same thing with Bitcoin, right? We had a cross down, but look at price here. It just started riding up. We had, all this price action here. The stochastic RSI was moving down, but yet price moved up. So again, the stochastic RSI is not telling us with 100% certainty that price is moving down. But what it is telling us is, hey, I'm giving you guys a warning. I'm giving you guys a caution flag here that the stochastic RSI has had a negative cross down. Something to keep in mind on, but nothing too alarming besides that, because we're still creating higher highs and higher lows. Total 2, same sort of comments. I would just say the same sort of thing. So Total 2 is just the entire cryptocurrency market cap with Bitcoin removed. DT, good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Have your cup of joe. Glad you could make it on. You can see that this ascending line of support here has been holding. It's not, by the way, we're going to look at the next chart and see this. It's not the end of the world if this line breaks. This is just a shorter term momentum trend line that I've drawn here. We have a candle body wick here, touch here, and I've just extended it up. But it's not, you could draw this several different ways. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't hold. But the Total 2 is just exhibiting very similar market structure as the total cryptocurrency market cap, which is the same thing. So case in point, right? I had this shorter term ascending line here, and it broke, right? So not the end of the world. What's more important when you're looking at the total others, it's the total cryptocurrency market cap stripping out Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay, the two biggest players. What's more important to take a look at is this low has not been taken out. We have a high here, and at the moment we have a higher low right here, okay? So as long as we continue doing this, higher highs and higher lows, we're fine, okay? We could even double bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, we could even double bottom at this area here. What we don't want to see is to dip below this line. That's what we don't want to see. But again, we haven't done that. So let's just continue to monitor the charts and see what it's going to tell us. Let's see. A few other charts real quick that I'll touch on. And then I'm going to actually hand it off. There's just a couple charts. So I'm going to hand it off to you guys for any TA Q&A. We're going to keep it, technical analysis driven Q&A. Any chart you want me to take a look at on the weekly time frame. Again, weekly time frame. This is the focus of this live stream. We're not getting into theoretical discussions on this Q&A. We're just going to talk about TA. H-bar, as you can see, we have this ascending line of support that I've drawn here since we had our, almost said the word, didn't want to get demonetized there. The ascending line of support here since the beer virus, okay? This is not beer. This is a non-alcoholic hop water for everybody joining. Have you subscribed to the channel? Have you hit the thumbs up button? Have you left me a comment that I can interact with you? By the way, I said this on the happy hour. If YouTube ever reaches out to me and asks for suggestions, or I guess I could reach out to them and give them a suggestion, I wish I could go here and click on DT and hand him over the mic and give him floor time, and I could interact with him, because that'd be so cool. I have a lot of you guys joining in from different countries, which is really neat. Ireland, Australia, yeah, that would be really cool. So it'd be a really nice enhancement by YouTube to do that. I know that Twitter Spaces has that. Twitter Spaces has that, which, I'll look into possibly getting on Twitter Spaces at some point. Time has to allow for it, but I wish they did it on YouTube. Anyway, getting back to HBAR real quick. You can see a touch here, and right now we're kind of teetering with this ascending line of support. So we're going to have to see if it holds up. We don't want to, I will tell you this for HBAR. We're sitting right now at 6 cents, okay? I have another area of support here, 5.3 cents. I really don't want to see price dip below there, because once we dip below 5.3 cents, now we're entertaining the wick, the huge volatility wick that came down here at 4.6 cents. I don't want to see that happen. Well, I guess if you're a long-term investor, you would want to see that happen. But again, the reason I personally don't want to see that happen is because what I'm trying to hit home on here is if we go back to the very first chart, okay, the very first chart, just one more time for everybody here who was not here. Again, long-term thesis, massively bullish. But the more we hang out down here, just the more we hang out under here, the more we start dipping on HBAR, okay, and where'd I go? The more we start dipping in these levels, sorry, I feel the frustration kicking in with TradingView. The more we start entertaining levels down here, the more time we're going to spend in this area. It's just going to be long and drawn out and choppy, and it's going to be a longer time until we see new all-time highs and everything. So I don't want to see things go lower than they already have. So this ascending line of support is holding at the moment. We'll have to see how the week closes out. Same thing for Harmony One. We have this long-term ascending line of support here that I have drawn. So far, we're still holding it. We've still created higher highs and higher lows. We're sitting just under 2 cents. This is Doge. I was taking a look at this. Yeah, nothing too alarming here. Really, if you're in Doge, we really don't want to see that low taken out, which we're still respecting it, much like the other cryptocurrencies, around 5 cents, right? We're sitting right now at 6 cents. Massive move down since we had this huge pump up. But again, when you zoom out on this thing, I don't see, how would you not be happy invested in this thing? Look at this. It's like a stair-step function, It's just like stair steps up. It's been a massive investment opportunity. SHIB, we broke out from our descending line of resistance. Nothing too much to update on here. Very bearish candle to close out the week. This thing could dip all the way down and retest this area of descending resistance here. It's very, very common to have that happen. So you could see prices, if we see further dips down, you could see a move down. Let's take a look at a measured move here. You could see a 16, 17% drop in SHIB. So something to keep an eye on. BAT. I was evaluating this one. So I have this long-term ascending, if you're in BAT, I have this long-term ascending area of support here that has been holding. So why did I draw it through all this? Because it was a black swan event. So the way I chose to draw this was to negate the volatility that occurred here and instead look at the rest of the price action. So that's how I've chosen to draw it. So we're still holding this area of support here. Again, same sort of thing, same sort of comments as the other charts. We still have a high. We still have a low, a high, and a higher low. So nothing too concerning here. This is a chart I had tweeted out earlier this morning. I'm taking a look at. We're not going to take a look at that. Chills is actually a really strong chart if you're in this one. Going to look into this one. I'm not in any sports-related projects. So I'm going to take a look at this. But let's get off the price indicators and focus on the price action. So we have this descending area of resistance. Sort of had... did we have a... Nah, I wouldn't say so. I was going to say we had a descending triangle, but I don't think so. You could draw this a couple ways. But... yeah, really for chills, I mean, again, this has actually expressed a decent amount of strength if you're invested in this project. Really, it's all about getting up here and breaking this. And then you can see we have an area of resistance right here, right around, well, technically here, okay? Area of resistance right around there, around 66 cents. So we really just want to start breaking above this descending area of resistance, back tested as support, and then begin battling the 65 cent area. Again, this is a stronger chart that I've just started to evaluate. Let's actually take a look at the price indicators real quick. Yeah, MACD's crossing up. Stochastic looks a little topped out. It can top out for a while. RSI looks like it might be healthy. Yeah, it's at 50, 58. Looks healthy to me. This is a really nice chart, I got to say. From a TA perspective, I really like what I see here. Last chart we're going to take a look at. I'm going to get to everybody's questions here. Make sure to pop in some questions. I see one from my friend John here. He has Matic, which we're going to take a look at. This is sand. This is one of these things. I actually took a look at this. Sandbox. This thing back at the start of, I mean, this is insane to think about. This is one of these hit it out of the ballpark projects. If you had gotten invested, let's actually have some fun with this, because I want to illustrate the opportunities that exist out there if you even invest a small amount, okay? And you can, I mean, some of these things, again, when the market appreciates in value and it's running hard, the tide's going to lift all boats. Everything's going to run, right? But sometimes you're fortunate enough, I'm not going to say lucky, but you're fortunate enough to invest in something so early on and it's such a low valuation and it runs so hard. This thing back here in January was in the 600 market cap ranking. Nobody, I don't know anyone that was talking about it. Maybe you were, I don't know, but it was in the 600s, okay? It was sitting at 4 cents. This thing appreciated, we'll just say 4 cents for simplicity. This thing appreciated up to, we're just going to say $8. It was over $8, okay? So from look at this, 23,000% return. So let's say you had decided to invest $1,000 in sand, right? So, and you had you timed things perfectly, which is unrealistic, okay? But $8 divided by 4 cents is a 200x multiple return. Times $1,000 invested, you turned 1,000, 1,000 into, 200,000, okay? Even if you sold anywhere near, even at $7, if you sold it at $7, you're still looking at 150, 100 and, shit. I can't do the math real quick in my head. It's late. 175x. So 175x on top of $1,000 would be $175,000. So it really shows you the power of doing some investing in some really low cap projects that have potential, and you just invest a very small amount, just a very small amount of your portfolio. And for some people, $1,000 is a small amount. For some people, that's a lot of fucking money. So maybe it's $100, maybe it's $50, whatever. But yeah, I mean, this thing has run massively. Now, what we're seeing right now, I've drawn these major areas of support between 86 and 60 cents. We do not want to go below 60 cents. But again, we're respecting market structure here of right now, this has the potential, like a lot of other projects, to be creating market structure for a trend reversal. There's still potential for that. Why do I say that? It's very easy. I'm not performing magic here. There's a low, a high, and a higher low at the moment. Okay? Those are the basic building blocks of a bullish narrative. Okay? So we just want to see that continue. So really good to see. You can guess I'm going to say we need to break this descending area of resistance and then begin taking out some of these other highs around $1.35 and upwards. So I think this is a beautiful, 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 beautiful entry point if you're getting in here for the next run. So let's see what questions we have in the chat. DT, I haven't really done too much CSPR research, Casper research yet. More of a question for the community in terms of where to go. Very basic, just reading about the project a little bit, but nothing extensive. A lot of career stuff going on this weekend, so keeping pretty busy. Here for some H-bar hopium. Hey, by the way, did all the H-barbarians, if you're an H-barbarian, drop a comment. I'd like to know. Who here is an H-barbarian? Because I know I am an H-barbarian. You know what? I haven't wielded in a long time. This is the This is the H Barbarian sword, right? This is the replica. This is the replica Conan the Barbarian Sword of Atlas. The Atlas Sword of Atlanteus. Sword of Atlanteus. This sword is awesome, and I'm geeking out right now. But anyway, that is the sword from my video for all those who are familiar. But I'm a little bit of a nerd at heart. That's just the way it goes. That's who I am. So, H-Bar, by the way, for all the H-Barbarians, I don't see anyone indicating they're an H-Barbarian. I'm very disappointed. Also a proud member of the Holy Crypto Trinity. They are finally getting listed on Coinbase. So they are on the roadmap to getting listed. I don't know that an exact date or, well, they wouldn't give an exact date or it would have pumped, but I don't know if they gave a specific quarter. Like if it's happening in the fourth quarter, I would imagine it's going to happen at some point in the fourth quarter. That's my best guess. But H-Bar is finally getting listed on Coinbase, so cheers. Now we just need Harmony 1 to get listed. Harmony 1 is not a dead project. It's not going anywhere, in my opinion. But we have Man and we have H-Bar. We just need to get Harmony 1. It was on the roadmap at one point. Not on the roadmap, but one was listed as a possible listing a couple years ago, and then nothing ever came from it, like with many other projects. So we'll have to see. You know, Coinbase is really going to start to continue to lose some market share if they don't become a lot more competitive in many ways. You know, Binance US is doing certain things to kind of stick it to Coinbase. They have free trading for Bitcoin. Did I see something about they're also offering free trading for Ethereum? Don't quote me on that. I thought there was something with Ethereum too. They offer staking. I stake Matic. I've been very public about that on Binance US. And yeah, Coinbase needs to step it up. They need to get more projects listed. They need to offer staking. They should compete and offer free trading for Bitcoin just like Binance US. So we'll see. Hey, Daniel, thank you very much. Oh, you know what? I never spoke to that. I intended to speak to what was going on a week ago because I really did think other people could benefit from it. I will make a note of it as soon as I get off the live stream. When I do the Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour this week on Wednesday or Thursday, I will definitely start off with that. So thank you. I'm doing very well. I feel much better. I was very miserable there for a long period of time. So feeling a lot better. Thank you. So John, thank you for once again tuning in. I'm glad that you could make it. I appreciate your support. You're always dropping me comments and doing all that stuff, which I really appreciate. So let's take a look at Matic together. And we'll take a look at Matic BTC as a bonus just because I want to. And it'll help you out even more. So here's Matic. You know, John, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. You know, I've spoken about this one before. Let's not look at price indicators. Let's just look at price. This has had an extremely strong bounce. We bounced at 32 cents and we went up. I mean, look at the way this thing appreciated in value once we bounced. We bounced up from 32 cents all the way up to this major area of, it's funny how areas of price confluence, I mean, this thing perfectly whipped up to $1.05. So we went up 233%, okay? So we had a massive move up. So right now, what is going on with Matic? Well, the first thing is the basic building blocks of a trend reversal and bullish narrative are still very much in play. We have a low, high, and higher low at the moment, okay? So that's the first thing to keep in mind, John, for Matic. The second thing is you can see $1.05 is a major area of price confluence. There's a reason I have it drawn there. You can see the price confluence all through here. We need to get back above $1.05. Let's look at the stochastic real quick. Let's take a look at the stochastic RSI and see what it's telling us. Okay, so we've had a cross down like with a lot of the market. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a turn down. Well, I should say it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a strong turn down. You can see we saw a cross here. Price sort of went sideways and moved up. So the stochastic RSI has a negative cross, okay? It's implying that the price is expressing some weakness, and we're seeing a little bit of a trend reversal. But again, that's in the short term. And if you're an investor and you look at the bigger picture, that we're creating higher highs and higher lows at the moment, or excuse me, a high and two higher lows, as this thing is coming down, and maybe, an area of price confluence, John, that I could see. Okay, so if I really wanted to, me personally, again, nothing here is financial advice, all right? I'm just giving my honest opinion. If I wanted to buy in sort of a bigger position and price started coming down, I'd have some buy limits set up right. I don't want to overcomplicate this. So we're going to say anywhere in between 63 and 57 cents. This right here would be a golden pocket for me if we pulled it. Now, that's not saying we can't go lower. I mean, I see another area of price confluence right here. I mean, we could come all the way down to 52 cents, right? Depends what the rest of the market does. But for me personally, if I wanted to set a larger buy order limit, I'd be looking at 57 to 63 cents. I mean, that would present an awesome opportunity. I could very much see us, if my overall thesis is correct and we have bottomed, I mean, I very much could see something like this. We could even come down here. We could come down to 52 cents, but we're squabbling over 52 cents or 56 cents or 50, I mean, what are we really talking about here? So I could see something like this, certainly. But, don't lose perspective. We are coming down in the short term here. We're having a little bit of a correction. We had a massive run up from 33 to $1.05. So what we want to see is a higher low created here, and we really need to break this $1.05. Once we break the $1.05, there are some areas of price confluence in here, but there's not a ton in my opinion. So there's a lot of open opportunity for price to move all the way up to $1.74 at that point, okay? So that's what I would keep an eye on for Matic. Now, as far as the relativity to Bitcoin and the strength or weakness that it is displaying, this is absolutely one of the strongest performers price appreciation-wise relative to Bitcoin. Look what's going on here. Now, this should be green. What's going on here is we're literally just, you can see there's other areas of price confluence here I'm not going to draw in. But, we created our all-time high right up in this region, right? And since then, we had a correction. We broke down below this area of price confluence. We've since broken back up above it. So we're still hovering in this area, right? This is getting too messy. Once we broke below here, we're up here. We're in this area right here, and we've been in this area before, as you can see here, okay? So we're still expressing a lot of strength relative to Bitcoin. What I want to see hold up personally in this chart, I think it's rather obvious. We could come all the way down here, and that's fine by me. What I don't want to do is start creating new lows and going down here. I do not want to see that. So I really need to see this point of relativity, this ratio right here hold up, this green line here, which is 0.40 and a 2257. Okay, I want to see that hold up. So as long as we're above this line, in my opinion, there's still a ton of strength here being created. Right now, we have a little bit of a descending area of resistance, okay? So we just need to see for continued strength here. We can come down here, bounce up, battle it, and do something like this. That's really ideally what we want to see. But this is going to take some time. But Matic is one of the strongest performers. It's expressing a lot of strength here in the chart. I do not see anything overly concerning in this chart. So thank you for the question, John. I appreciate it. Yeah, H-bar. I own a lot of H-bar. I'll just leave it at that. But glad to see, even though no one has said they're an H-barbarian, I know that there's a few H-barbarians here. So it sounds like Brendan and I know DT's an H-barbarian. But Brendan, it sounds like you're an H-barbarian as well. Might have known that before, though. You might have commented on that. Are there any other TA questions? I really don't have anything else TA-wise. So I'm going to give it a couple seconds. If anybody doesn't have any other questions, I think we're going to close things out. If you haven't already, make sure that you give me a follow on Twitter. At some point, I'm on TradingView. I really use it to chart things out. I have not used my profile in a long time. You can give me a follow on there because at some point I may start to become more active on TradingView. I do a crap ton of charts on Twitter at Crypto Bull God. I do some motivational gym stuff. I think, exercising and living a healthy lifestyle is monumentally important. So if you're into that sort of thing, which I think you should be personally, you can give me a follow at Crypto Bull God on Instagram. TradingView, you can follow me at Crypto Bull God in case I start to become more active on there. And then obviously, hopefully you're subscribed to the channel and you have the bell for notifications so you know when I go live. I do have other ideas for more live streams. It's just, it's putting those ideas together and then it's finding the time to do it. These things do take more time than you realize to do. So, but I love doing it. I love doing it. I love creating content for you guys and I appreciate the feedback. It keeps me going. So, thank you for everybody tuning in. Really appreciate the support. Stay strong. Look out for the Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour, Wednesday or Thursday, not sure which day. And give a look out for the video that I'm going to put out that I keep talking about that will help you to remain convicted that the focus should not be on the specific dollar value of a bottom, but whether this is a generational buying opportunity or not. So with that being said, DT, talking about this, but not sure. Yeah, I'm about to tune out, DT. I'm about to head out, DT, but I'm not sure what you mean. DM me on Twitter because I'm not actually sure what you're asking, to be honest with you. Just keeping it real like I always do. I'm not quite sure what your question is. Send me a DM. I'll correspond with you. Hey, thank you. Thank you for everybody. And thank you for tuning in. Until next time, spread awareness and carry the education forward, all right?